So I'm continuing with my theme of precious human life, which is very good for me to think about, and maybe for you too. There's the 8 freedoms and the 10 fortunes that make up a precious human life. And what I'm thinking about this morning is one of the fortunes, and that is to have faith in the Dharma. So how do I think about that? For myself, it comes in the phrases from this verse that I was instructed to think about every morning, and did for a long period of time, and now I just think about it intermittently, and which is helpful, the 6 recognitions. So the part that has to do with faith is that the Buddha is reliable and the Dharma is infallible, essentially. And so I've kind of gone different ways with this. Sometimes I felt like the Dharma was like this logic that I couldn't get outside of, and I just rebelled against it because I do find it infallible. I can't get outside of the logic, and sometimes I want to get outside of the logic. I'm like, I'm out of here, let me out of this. But that's really not a very good state of mind. And it's kind of like what Venerable says, the Buddha knew what he was talking about. And so where the 6 recognitions are helpful and where this faith is helpful is when you want to change. And so the 6 recognitions have to do with seeing yourself as a sick person as the starting point. Well, that's this, when you wrap your mind around that correctly, that is this wish to change and to actually not to suffer. And that's a pretty easy place to get to if you can frame it properly. When I rebel against it is when I'm not really keeping the perspective right, is what I would say. So it doesn't take too long for me to get to the part that the Buddha is reliable and the Dharma is non-deceptive. And I think that's a very helpful thing for me to remember. That's the basis of my faith. And it's not a faith that, or even thoughts, or conviction that that I learned through reading those words. It's something that you have to think about for a long time. So our faith in the Dharma is, we're taught that it needs to be something that is cultivated, thought about, reasoned, not a blind faith. And so having that is actually one of the things that makes this precious human life meaningful.